Welcome back, guys. Another test build. This is the BYH9 and I'm starting this time with the CPD tester just to show you some benchmark. This thing here is sequential write, sequential read, random write, read, and also memory copy. And you can see the speeds are quite okay for the storage that this phone is equipped with. I'm gonna also start with a Geekbench I just ran on this phone just some minutes ago, and it wasn't that bad. I'm almost hitting 3000 on the single core score and almost 9700 on the multi-core score. And for reference, I'm always showing the first result I ever got with this phone out of the box. Alright, this was done months ago. Now some words about the firmware. As you know, I've been using the BYGD version, which I think is an internal build, and that was really fairly stable, fairly good, and also very important, guys, it was certified. And then Samsung released a bunch of other test builds like the BY H1, H3, H5, H7, and now finally the BY H9 is here, and I'm on it, and I'm gonna show you why. But it's of course One UI 8. It's Android 16. Very important, guys, the Android security patch level is from the 1st of September, and today, as of shooting this video, I think it's the 27th of August. So again, we are living in the future. But also something that is very important about this build. Is this build certified, guys? Yes, it is. It meets the basic integrity, the device integrity, and the strong integrity. And what is this thing here? You can learn what those results mean. So basic integrity, the app is running on a device that passes basic system integrity checks. The device bootloader can be locked or unlocked. On Android 13 and higher, the meet strong integrity verdict requires meet device integrity and security updates in the last year for all partitions of the device, including an Android OS partition patch and a vendor partition patch, which means that now this is for sure a certified build. And yes, it is, because I'm able to enter all my cards and pay with them, and of course also pay with my watch. One of the main things I'm using my watch, believe it or not, I'm using it just to buy coffee and pay with my watch. Guys, now let's go inside the settings. I want to show you some other things inside security and privacy. What happens when I click on the updates? The security update is from the 1st of September, and finally now the Google Play System update is from July. When I hit here, there are no new updates, but I think for a while ago we have been stuck on some previous versions, and I'm happy to see that Samsung apparently addressed this. Some important information that I do believe has been shared on the XDA thread on S25 Ultra with all the updates. Guys, what is the difference between them? BH9 is the international division specializing in power efficiency and charging, while the ZYH9 is the European division specializing in camera and GPU tuning. Because the official betas, they always start with Z something. Now we're running the BYH9. 4K 60 FPS, autofocus fix, updated Samsung Health model. Now I'm not able to confirm those things. I checked this on XDA, and then some folks sent it to me. I cannot 100% confirm this, but I decided to share this with you because it looked interesting. Now let's try to test here some of the animation on the home screen. This one is pretty good, by the way. Now I've installed this firmware yesterday. What happens here? Wow, okay, not that bad, guys. And also I want to share with you, I decided to also start my phone as a fresh installation, which means that I wiped everything and then I installed the BYH9. I wiped everything as I was on BYGD, and then I used the BYH9 installation to upgrade, and now I'm here, guys. So we still have all the nice AI features with the Now Brief that can read things aloud.
The rest of your day.
And there are also a lot of things, guys, for the Now Brief. Now this thing has been expanded, and you can include what kind of content you want, like health and travel and you know, traffic updates and parking slot, and even YouTube the way I did. So when I scroll down, I'm gonna see starting to recommend me some music from Spotify, some videos from YouTube. When I go to the left, I do have here my Google Now, and you can see, by the way, it's very fluid. Also a good reminder now, guys, good luck, almost all, if not all, modules do work, and I'm also using good luck to try to optimize my performance. But have in mind, guys, I didn't tweak the system animation. Let me show you now. If I'm here and I open Geekbench, okay, this is going to be using the Home App new elegance animations. I decided to use the stock animation just to try to be able to test more But why I'm using it, because from blur animation tuning I have enabled icon blur and wallpaper blur. Pay attention now, when I open an application I'm gonna get all the icons and the wallpaper blur at the same time, which I genuinely enjoy. Now, what about the animations, guys? How do we test them? I'm just gonna take some apps here and put it for you. All right, just try to see how well they are. Now, honestly, with the latest builds, I cannot really complain. I have a feeling that One UI 8 is really smooth. Now, I will not lie to you, I still experience some hiccups here and there, but overall it's getting really, really good. It's getting good means that it's almost able to match, my experience with phones like the Ultras from the Oppo and the Ultras from the Xiaomi and from the Vivos, which isn't that bad because they really have good and quick animation. And also what I do believe is very important, very, very consistent, which means that when you do an animation, something like this 10 times, you're gonna get it right almost like all the time. And not like in the past with some previous One UI versions where, let's say, 4 out of 10 times you're going to encounter stutter, which I guess is not a deal breaker, it's not a major thing, and of course it's just nitpicking. But hey, we are paying the premium money for these phones and we just want them really to be perfect. So far I have no major complaints with the BYH9. I showed you the benchmarks, guys. I think they're doing okay. Everything really works spot on, all right? And I'm able to use all my tools, included the Samsung Wearable, with the Buds 3. And also I was able to transfer my watch to the new phone, which is something very, very good, because every time I reinstall my Galaxy Watch, I need to enable my cards. Now my watch is here, it's paired, everything is really preserved. As you might have already noticed, when I go here in Samsung Wearables, I'm not able to see my buds because the buds right now are added directly, guys, to your settings. And actually I'm gonna try to pair now the buds for the first time. Okay, let's see how this works. Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, I'm gonna hit the connect. We have this nice animation here. And by the way, guys, I'm using a Samsung phone with a Samsung Buds and with a Samsung Watch, and I can tell you the experience is very good. It's seamless. I was able to connect it. I'm also able to install the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro Manager. You can see now all these things, all these tips, they're just here. And if you want to access the buds, the way it works is you go inside the settings and then you're gonna see the Buds 3 Pro, which means that if I am to open Samsung Wearable, it's no longer gonna be there, which I think some people might find confusing, but Wearable is things that you wear, and I'm not sure, like, is this like stickable? Lame attempt for joke, but hey, this is how the Buds 3 Pro do work. Now, let me show you some widget animations, as I have here the weather. So I'm gonna open the weather. We have the new updated weather app and I really love it. This looks so good, by the way, with all the animations. And now, guys, you can see every time I open this, I do believe that I still have the background zooming in, zooming out with the blur. I'm not sure if the blur is now applied on the icons and also on the background as if I'm opening icons, because the widgets are too big. And now this is Spotify. All right, let me open Spotify. You can see this really works very, very sweet, guys. Okay, opening it like this, can directly go and open things from here, and I can go back to my home screen. So I do believe that the One UI 8 right now is very, very polished. Probably some minor hiccups still, and thus Samsung requiring more time to be able to release this finally as a stable update to anybody out there. Even Game Booster Plus, this thing has been updated, guys. The Game Booster Plus has been updated to support One UI 8 with the good luck, and I'm gonna start it now for the first time on this PC. You're also able to fine-tune some GPU settings, like enable Game Booster GPU settings, which is not that bad. And of course we have here the game controller key mapping, which I lost because again I just had to reboot my phone. Also some pro tips, guys. Every time you do perform a firmware update, make sure to install Good Guardians and then use Galaxy App Booster, and just in case, run an optimization. Now, I don't have scientific proof if this thing is going to work or not, but honestly, it's better to do this. Everybody in the Samsung forums claim that this helps, so I'm just doing this. And then we have Thermal Guardian. This is very important because this thing can help you regulate the heat tolerance on your phone. So right now, if I drag it like this, the slider, my phone is going to be able to run hotter with 2 Celsius, which means that probably, the throttling is gonna be less. Now, I did some testing in the past. Not sure that that necessarily works, but right now I've decided to just keep it like this. All right, just keep it on the standard. And the other thing is the performance, guys. When I go inside the settings and I search for performance in the device key, there's going to be the performance profile. I'm using right now the standard, which I'm using right now the standard, which I'm using right now the standard, which is the recommendation. I'm using right now the standard, which is a balance between processing speed, the cooling efficiency, battery life. But if you want to prioritize battery life and cooling, you can go and use the light. The other thing that I encourage you to check is a module for good luck called display assistant. Why? This thing has another brightness limit profile setup, and it can go from standard, which is the standard limitation. So the brightness will be limited at high temps, which means you using your phone outside under the hot sun, or in my case, I'm using light, which means that brightness can be kept up at high temperatures, but the device cools down slowly. Now, is this effective? I think it's still better than the standard one. And in the previous versions, we were able to modify some of the Samsung device health manager settings and completely disable throttling without rooting the phone. I'm not sure if that's possible now without root. Hence, here we are, One UI 8. We are almost end of August, and we are gearing up hopefully for a One UI stable for the S25 Ultra, and then hopefully very soon the S23 Ultra, S24 Ultra, and then the A series, guys. I really hope that this is going to follow very, very soon. One more last look at the recent sub closing. Everything really works good for a beta. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you enjoy videos like this, you're more than welcome to check the others. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.